Hello everyone. This is part 2 of my video series on creating lead sheets, and here we're going to talk about how to notate original melodies, original melodic ideas as part of the process of creating a lead sheet. And I'm going to be showing you how to do this using this really simple original song that I wrote called A Chill Song. So let's pick it up. You're going to see me working on a program called MuseScore. And what I have here is a blank sheet of manuscript paper, basically. I've specified the song title, the key signature. I know already that it's in the key of G, and it's in 4/4 time. So where do I begin? Well, the first thing that you'll want to do, if you don't already, is you'll want to figure out what song the key is in. And as I've said before, there are a couple videos that I've done in the past, and I will link to them in the description of this video, that kind of describe the importance of key signatures and how you can figure out what key you're in. But depending on how you go about writing songs, the process of figuring out what key you're in and figuring out where to start with writing your melody is can end up being sort of the same step. And so that's what I'm going to do here. And so depending on what your skills are as an instrumentalist, you might be a singer primarily, but for many, it's easiest to work on the piano. If you're a guitarist, you might choose to work on guitar to try to start to figure out how to go about starting to notate a melody that you can sing. You know how to sing it, but how do you notate it? So I'm going to be showing you how you can use the piano to help you get started. And you might have a piano or a keyboard instrument at home, and even if you don't, the beautiful thing about this software program is you can bring one up. You can click up at the top where it says View, and you can click Piano Keyboard, or you can just press the P button, and here you have a piano that brings up, and that gets brought up, and you can actually play it with your mouse, which is pretty great. All right, and so one place to start is to just, especially if you have just kind of come up with this melody by singing it and not necessarily by playing an instrument and singing, just kind of start singing the melody in the key that you're comfortable with. Remember, you can always change the key later easily enough, but you've just kind of got to start somewhere. So just kind of start singing it. And so the way that this song started was this: I've got a song stuck in my head. So even just that first little phrase, you can kind of tell that I sing that note mostly right at the beginning. It's actually not technically the first note that I sing. Very often, the first note of a song indicates what key the song is in. In this case, I'm actually not starting on the tonic note. I do end the song on a tonic note. That's probably your best hint of what key a song is in. Whatever the last note is that you sing, very often that's what key the song is in. Not always, but very often. And even if that's not true, you'll find most melodies, they will use the tonic note a lot. And that's true of this song. I've got a song stuck in my head. Right, even the first phrase, you can tell, I'm singing that note a lot. And so even just by trial and error, you can sing and hold that note out and see if you can find the right. I mean, there's only 12 notes, to choose from, right? So, oh, it's that one. What note is that? Oh, that's G. Okay, that's kind of my tonal center. All of the notes are kind of gonna, revolve around that one. I'm singing that one quite a lot. So now I know kind of where I am. Now, the important thing about notating a melody to bear in mind is there's two aspects, right? There's a rhythmic aspect and there's the pitch aspect. We've already talked about the pitch aspect here. We need to talk about the rhythm. And the way that you can go about figuring out the rhythm is to remember, okay, you're in 4/4 time, 4 beats per measure. So you can kind of, what might help if you're new to this is to kind of, clap out the downbeats of the song, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then sing along with it. And maybe not even don't even think about the melody. You could even just think about just sort of speak the words rhythmically, to figure out what the rhythm might be. So in this case, it would be like this: I've got a song stuck in my head. Okay, so there's some notes that fall right on the downbeat, and there's some that are falling right in between them. And the ones that are between them are falling on eighth note beats, and the ones that are falling right on the downbeat are falling on either 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so that's kind of, could be a good way that you start, just step by step. I've got a song. So 1, I've got a song stuck in my head. Okay, I've got. So you can kind of play the melody as you're singing. I've got a song. I've got a song. Okay, so I'm jumping back and forth between E and G. Those are kind of my first 4 pitches. I know that. I've got a song. They're all the same length. I've got a song. So I'm starting just after beat 1 on the 8th note, just after beat 1. So I'm going to select 8th note, and I'm going to select an 8th note rest is the first thing that I have to write. And then the next thing that I have to write is an E, which is here. Now, I'm a male singer, and I'm actually singing that note an octave lower than what's written, and that is typical. In most cases, if you're a male singer, the pitch that you're going to be singing is going to sound an octave lower than where it is on the treble clef. If you're a female singer, more often than not, the notes that you're singing are actually exactly the note that you're writing on the treble clef. Guys tends to be an octave lower. Technically, this note, I just wrote it down, but it's up here, but I'm not singing it that high. I'm singing it down here. I've got a song, right? So that's just something to bear in mind if you're a male singer. Alrighty, so I've got a song, right? That's where I'm at. So I've got a song, and that last note I hold a little bit longer, so I need to kind of figure out, which rhythm that is. I've got a song stuck. All right, so that gets held for a little bit. And you can always kind of fix the rhythm up later if you're not 100% happy with how you expressed it. But what I'm going to do is this. Oops. See, and if you make a mistake like that, you can just press the down arrow. I've got a song stuck in my head. Now I actually wrote out, a greater number of notes than I actually sang. Well, why did I do that? Because I did that in anticipation of using something called a tie. And a tie, you can insert them in this program right here. The tie, when you have sort of a curved line between 2 notes that are on the same space or line on the staff, it means that it's a tie, and basically it means you're holding that note out for the duration of both those notes that are tied together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this note, and because I want to tie these 2 notes together. I've got a song stuck, right? So that last note comes on the 8th note after beat 4, and I want that note to kind of be held. I could just put a rest here too. Either way, I want to show you how you can use tied notes. So yeah, that's how you can do it. And then this note actually is tied as well into the next measure. So I need a tie here too. Stuck in my head, and I need another tie here as well. Stuck in my head, right? So that note there, this note falls on an 8th note beat, but it's held for the rest of the measure. So I need to tie those notes. Alrighty. It actually might be better if I change this note to a rest, so I can show you how it's not a problem, to change your mind. You can just erase that tie, delete the note. I just clicked on the note and I press delete, and I changed that note to a rest. Not a big deal. And what you can do is you can check yourself just by clicking on the first note, and you can press play, or the space bar is a shortcut. All right, yeah, I'm happy with that. So that's the beautiful thing about these sheet music writing programs, is you can kind of, check to make sure that you're doing it right. So, that's kind of how you go along, and the more musical material you write of the song, the easier it's going to get, because you now have kind of a frame of reference about kind of where you are. It's like, okay, I'm singing G a bunch, here I go up to A. So then the next time you sing, an A or a G or an E, you're like, oh yeah, I know that that's an A. And you'll just write it without necessarily having to think about it too much. The other thing that you can do is you can copy and paste. So that if there's aspects of your melody that kind of keep coming up, you can just, highlight a measure, press copy, and then paste it later on if you want part of it or a whole measure or whatever. Now, the other thing that I need to, advise you of when you're writing out a melody is to make sure that you are not over composing it. What do I mean by that, over composing it? Well, basically, it's a rule that says, err on the side of simplicity. Keep it simple, because there's a difference between a composed melody as it exists in kind of an official composition, and the way that a singer might sing it. All of the different nuances that amazing singers can do with their voice, it's basically impossible to accurately replicate that. And singers might sing a song differently every time, anyways, right? And so it is okay to just keep it simple. In fact, it's better that way, that you don't write too many unnecessary notes if it's a song where you tend to sing it a little bit in a kind of a fancy way. So what I mean is, let's say you're somebody who, if you were going to sing this song, you would sing it like this. I'm just going to make something up here. I'm not the greatest singer, but I've got a song stuck in my head. If you end the phrase that way, that's kind of a vocal ornament. It's a fancy melisma that comes at the end. It's cool, but you wouldn't want to notate that. It would be very difficult to notate, and it's not necessary to notate it. It's fine to just have it held out as a single note here, like I've done. And then if you as a singer, or if there's somebody else singing the song, if they want to do something fancy at the end, maybe they will do something a little bit different from what you do. That's fine. They can do that as part of their vocal performance, but that doesn't mean that it's an official part of the composition. So I just wanted to kind of, make note of that. So you would continue to write out the melody and go through kind of a similar process as I've done here, working through it. And it's one of those skills where the more that you do it, the better you'll get and the more comfortable you'll get at it. And eventually you'll get to this point. So this is the entire written melody for the song that I wrote. And once you have that, then you will be ready for the next step. And I will tell you what that next step is in the next video.